Today's show is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Don't let others track what you do. Anonymize yourself at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside. Patrick, come on. Oh, come on, buddy.
We can't be close to each other.
Listen, my social distance is different than your social distance. Meet me halfway, motherfucker. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Inside Gaming Daily for Monday. Wherever you are, please join us in this clap. The world is still coming to an end. The stock market is tanking, and you're probably watching this from your quarantined isolation zone. But hey, that doesn't mean that we can't still talk about video games.
Yeah, it feels weird, but let's do it anyway. While they've had to cancel a lot of tournaments and events like E3, there's nothing stopping us from sitting on our asses and gaming.
Nice.
We've been training our whole lives for this moment. I've never wanted to go outside, and certainly I'm not going to start now.
Yeah, joke's on you guys. I've been quarantined for a year and a half, so I'm ahead of the game, baby.
You're the old veteran we go to for advice.
If Rooster Teeth doesn't see me, they can't fire me.
Allegedly, we're still gonna get new consoles this holiday season, okay? Although some people are really doubting that, but Microsoft is still releasing info about their upcoming Xbox Series X console. Remains to be seen if Mary's still gonna have Jesus this December. Maybe she'll postpone the birth. Can she do that?
What?
The holidays, maybe they won't happen.
What the So yeah, that's nice of them. We have something to talk about during our last few days of life here on this great earth. Sony, on the other hand, can't be bothered to share a crumb of info, even during the apocalypse. Classic Sony.
Just the teensiest, tiniest morsel. So yeah, early this morning, Microsoft dumped a lot of new hardware specs and features on us. Shout out, right, Brian?
Yeah, they are once again dribbling out some new info, but shout out to Microsoft for doing this early in the morning so we can be reasonably current with this video. I appreciate it. I know there's a 24-hour news cycle. With us, it's more like 48 hours, so it's much appreciated. And they're actually sharing the Xbox One X with members of the media for the first time, too.
Yeah, they gave the tech experts Austin Evans and Digital Foundry some hands-on time with the new console, and everyone seemed to like what they saw.
Let's talk about what we learned, shall we?
Are we at the end already?
Cabin fever sets in as Amir tries desperately to recall what day it is. He attempts to build a friend to form companionship. Will he succeed? Probably not. Find out next time on Editor in Quarantine.
So, what did we learn along the way? Hardware-wise, you probably know most of these details by heart already. The Xbox Series X will use a custom AMD Zen 2 CPU with 8 cores clocked at 3.8 gigahertz each. It'll also have a custom AMD RNDA 2 GPU with 12 teraflops and 52 compute units clocked at 1.825 gigahertz each. It'll have 16 gigs of GDDR6 RAM with a 1 terabyte custom SSD storage drive. Holy shit. And a cup holder.
Good lord. As for that 16 gigabytes of memory, it'll break down like this. There's 10 gigabytes for fast GPU optimal memory, 3.5 gigabytes for standard memory, and 2.5 gigabytes reserved by the OS.
And maybe just a little bit for daddy. All for the low price of $1,000.
What?
We're kidding, we hope.
Oh god.
Money is not gonna mean anything anymore, so don't worry about it. So let's talk about the graphics first. Like we said, Microsoft let some games media outlets get a peek under the hood at all those sweet 12 teraflops. And the folks at Digital Foundry said that in practice, the new machine is twice as powerful as an Xbox One X.
Whoa!
That's 2! Maybe we should invest in Xbox. Okay?
I'm investing in shoulder pads and S&M gear. Yeah, that custom RNDA 2 GPU is gonna have plenty of flops for all your gaming needs.
So Brian, what does Microsoft have to say about their new machine?
Yeah, so Andrew Goosen of Microsoft told Digital Foundry that, quote, 12 teraflops was our goal from the very beginning. We wanted a minimum doubling of performance over Xbox One X to support our 4K 60 and 120 targets, and we wanted that doubling to apply uniformly to all games, so not just the show ponies. They want it on all games.
Digital Foundry reported that a port of Gears 5 running on Xbox Series X with minimal optimizations was basically equivalent to a PC using an RTX 2080 from NVIDIA, which is a roughly $700 graphics card.
You know that.
I would know because I
Bought one in a cold
card.
medicine-induced stupor.
Yeah.
So while consoles are always behind the latest and greatest PCs, this one won't be that far behind, maybe even ahead of some. So we've got some other fresh specs for you, but first, you know what else should be fresh? Your nasty old pubes. Don't let a quarantine mess with your bush game.
You guys like that?
Yeah, that's good.
No.
Sport for Inside Gaming is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-belt grooming. St. Paddy's Day is just around the corner. There's no better time to invest in the proper tools to get lucky, if you know what I'm talking about. You and your partner will get lucky, all right. Their Lawnmower 3.0 will showcase your pot of gold like no other. Bushes are out, clean is in. That's what's going on these days. So Manscaped has completely redesigned the electric trimmer. The Manscaped engineering team spent 18 months perfecting the greatest ball hair trimmer ever created. And and just released the new and improved Lawnmower 3.0. They sent me one, I've got one. Works like a dream. So their 3rd generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to prevent manscaping accidents. It's one place you don't want to have an accident. Millions of balls are about to be nick-free thanks to Manscaped's advanced skin-safe technology. So manscaping accidents, they're a thing of the past. You don't even need to worry about it anymore. So when I tell you this is premium, I'm talking premium. Battery lasts up to 90 minutes. So if you typically like to shave your dick for 90 minutes, that won't be a problem for you anymore. One of the coolest features is it's got an LED light on it. It's like a little flashlight at the very tip. So you can see what's going on down there. You can see everything. So yeah, trim that junk of yours and get lucky this St. Patrick's Day. From one St. Patrick to another. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code INSIDE20 at manscaped.com. That is 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code INSIDE20. Cheers to manscaping your lucky charms. Of course, another big feature will be the fact that the console's GPU will enable hardware-accelerated ray tracing, which Digital Foundry called one of the biggest developments of the new generation.
They said that console implementation of RT is more ambitious than we believed possible.
They added that in the same way that light bounces in the real world, the hardware acceleration for ray tracing maps traversal and intersection of light at a rate of up to 380 billion intersections per second.
Sounds like my commute. This is really troubling.
And if you want to put it in terms of flops, Goosen said that the Series X can effectively tap the equivalent of well over 25 teraflops of performance while ray tracing. So Brian, this sounds like a pretty big graphical leap forward for consoles, right?
Yeah, this gen's gonna be a graphical leap forward from the next one, just like they all are, but they made the big point of just as important this time around is how games play when it comes to things like loading times and frame rates. Will Tuttle, who is the Xbox Wire editor-in-chief, wrote that gamers increasingly want games to run at 60 frames per second while still keeping a high visual fidelity.
To try and hit that in the past, developers have come up with workarounds like dynamic resolution scaling to maintain high image quality while not compromising on frame rate.
That was because of the limits of current generation hardware, but Tuttle added, that's all about to change with Xbox Series X. It's not just about making games look better though, it's about making games play better too.
So one of the most visible changes will be loading times, and it's clearly been a goal to cut those as much as possible. To show the difference in loading times from the current gen, they also released a tech demo comparing the Xbox Series X to the Xbox One X.
Yeah, and the difference is pretty stark. It took the Xbox Series X about 7 seconds to boot up State of Decay 2, while the Xbox One X took almost 50 seconds to pull off the same thing.
Jesus God.
That's a lot more than several seconds. Brian, I want to hear about SSDs. Come on, hit me with it.
Give us the state of solid states.
Yeah, they're coming to consoles, finally. They're gonna be on both next-gen consoles, but when they showed it side by side with an older drive, the difference extremely noticeable. Speaking of solid-state drives, Microsoft also released a tech demo this morning showing off the Xbox Series X's quick resume feature that lets you suspend multiple games at once. Really cool feature that up until now just wouldn't be possible on a console.
Oh, and speaking of SSDs, the system will come with a 1 terabyte SSD that uses something called Xbox Velocity Architecture to make 100 gigabytes of in-game content immediately accessible, which would be pretty nice for giant open world games, or games since like 2011.
But if you need more, Microsoft partnered with Seagate for a proprietary 1 terabyte SSD expansion. They showed that too. Kind of looks like a memory card. It's just so tiny.
But it's proprietary? Did they not learn anything from the PS Vita?
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much that annoys fans. We've seen some grumbling about it already online, but hey, you know how gamers just love to complain.
One more interesting thing to share about the new machine backwards compatibility. Woo! That's been a hallmark of the Xbox One, and it's going to carry over to the next generation as well.
Yeah, Brian, so older games are supposed to look better too, right?
Yeah, Microsoft says they will experience improvements in performance, including improved boot and load times, more stable frame rates, higher resolutions, and improved quality on Xbox Series X. That'll all come on the hardware side too. It's something they're improving on their end, not even something that developers need to enable, so it sounds pretty sweet.
So more hardware info. There are 2 main boards in the Xbox Series X, and it's cooled using air that is pulled in from the bottom and pushed out at the top, thanks to a 130mm fan.
And as for the new controller, it'll reduce latency by quite a bit. Digital Foundry said the typical 8 millisecond latency on analog controller input is now reduced significantly by transmitting the most up-to-date inputs just before the game needs them. Take that, Google Stadia. Bam, bam, pow, you're bad at what you do.
Stadia's been beaten into such a pulp that it doesn't even feel the punches anymore. So yeah, it's a lot of impressive stuff. Microsoft is clearly going all in on hardware this generation while also syncing a lot of resources into cloud streaming services like Project xCloud.
Later this week, they also are planning to live stream more details about the console for developers. It all sounds pretty sweet, but will we really see the machine this holiday season?
Some analysts do not think so. The firm DFC Intelligence recently said they expect the Xbox Series X and the PS5 to be delayed thanks to the worldwide disruption that is the coronavirus, assuming the PS5 is happening at all.
What did they say about it, Brian?
Yeah, so they said coronavirus is likely to have a major short-term impact on the delivery of both systems. There's a strong likelihood one or both systems will not make a 2020 launch. If the systems do launch, supply will likely be constrained and initial pricing could be higher than expected. So get ready for a bunch of marked up consoles on eBay. It's going to be the PS2 all over again.
And given how shut down everything is currently, that is not hard to believe. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, we're just a few days away from Animal Crossing and Doom Eternal.
Games are coming out again, and maybe at the best time when we need them most.
Do you guys have SSDs on your computers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you not?
Please.
You're about to have SSDs nuts in your mouth.